So thank you very much for joining us. This is like an amazing event. Yeah, so this is about, of course, the requirements to get a digital nomad visa in Colombia. This is a new visa, as you know. So my name is Nadia. I am the founder of the Digital Nomads Association. So this is Colombia. So this is a new association that we are with 4 more digital nomads we are starting. We are just structuring. So later on at the end, so we are going to tell you what are like the possibilities to join us as a digital nomad in Colombia, or a future digital nomad in Colombia. I'm also a digital nomad. I am from Colombia. I am from Bogota. So, but in this moment I am in Croatia. I hope to be in Colombia for by December. Yes, I'm also like very excited to build this digital nomad community in Colombia while I will be there. Okay. So, Carolina, I think you also can introduce yourself as you started this meeting.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm also a co-founder of the Digital Nomad Association Colombia. I've been traveling around my own country now. I started this journey just this year, and I started with Colombia because why not? It's my country and I love it. So yeah, I'm super glad to be part of this community, and like I hope you guys enjoy and find this super helpful for everybody.
Yeah, thank you very much, Carolina. So the next slide, please. So as I was saying to all of you, so this is like the Digital Nomad Association. So this is just like this idea started in the last April. So it was like an idea, as I have been nomading for a while. So I'm super passionate about nomadism. And so these 3 guys joined me to this amazing path. So Francois from Canada, Carolina, that you already know, and Marie, or Maria, as I said, Maria and Francisco, also from Canada. So you will know them later on at the end. So our main objective of this association is just to build a community, yes, and to promote right now Colombia as a spot, as a nice spot to be a digital nomad, yes, and to support each other, especially now that the digital nomad visa is, yes, is a reality. Okay. So later on at the end, so we have like, as we are structuring this new association, so I will tell you what are the social media that we are starting, so you can join. And for the people that join us during these 3 next months, so we have like some discounts on our membership for the association, but this is going to be in the end. I will tell you like the step by step for do so. Okay, so now we can start with the yes, our important topic today. So for this we have Cesar. So Cesar, you have the yes, the meeting for you. Thank you, Cesar.
Thank you, Nadia. Well, everybody, it's a great pleasure to meet everyone. As you know, I'm an expat. I guess you guys have seen me in the group, and I'm also an attorney here in Colombia. So basically, I've been in Colombia for many years, and I've seen the need of all the situations of fellow expats in regards to legal matters. So basically, this is an opportunity for me to explain to you what this digital nomad visa is all about. So please, let's begin. Next one, please. Before we begin, I'm the CEO and representative of Castro and Salazar Law Group, which is an immigration law firm, and also we're corporate. We provide different services. This is my team. Basically, as you see, I'm the CEO. We have presence in Panama, Ecuador. We also have specialists in tax law. We have a certified translator and a financial expert. So these are the people that help me with all the situations that come about in regards to expat. Please, next one. Just in case you guys need any help or you want to follow social media, this is the firm's social media. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, and our website, which is cslawgroup.com. If you guys want to follow us, we're always posting news about different changes in regards to the law here in Colombia, especially with immigration law, because that's our focus, expats. Please, the next one. So what are the topics in hand? Basically, the Digital Nomad Visa, changes to the visa regimen, the beneficiary visa, and a Q&A, which will be at the end. Please, next. So the Digital Nomad Visa, this is the topic that's hot right now. So basically, what are the requirements? What do you have to keep in mind before this new law comes in front? Just to clarify, the law will begin on October 21st, approximately. And when this comes about, these are the requirements that are going to be, that will have to be fulfilled. To be a holder of a passport issued by one of the countries or territories exempt from the short stay visa. Basically, if you have, for example, an American visa, of course, you can apply because you can come in. You have, of course, as everybody knows, you have 180 days, 90 with an extension of another 90. But basically, yes, you would have to be part of those visas that are exempt or have the short stay visa possibilities. The next one would be a letter to prove nomad status. So basically, what the law is specifying is that you have to be contracted from an offshore country, or for example, if you have a contract in the United States, you can apply for this visa. If you work in Colombia, you are not able to apply for this visa. So basically, you have to prove that you're a nomad status, meaning that you have to work as an employee or independent contractor of a foreign entity. Not only for the States, if you're, if you're in Europe or any other country, you're able to apply for this visa as long as your contract is abroad. Remember, you cannot have anything in Colombia in regards to a contractual obligation. And there's also some other interesting topics that have come about with this new law. Also, if you're interested in starting a new venture in the tech for digital space, basically what this means is that if you're, want to be an entrepreneur in the tech world and want to bring this opportunity for Colombia, then there are some different requirements. It's a little bit more complicated. You have to have a letter indicate on all these possibilities, or you want the new venture you want to bring into the country. So that's one of the other opportunities that exist. But basically, the one that's most popular right now is the one for employment. If you have a contract in the States, then you're able to apply for the digital visa in Colombia. And show at least 3 months of income with at least 3 times minimum wage. Basically, this runs around $700. If you make this each month, then you're able to apply for this visa. This is one of the requirements. So approximately, but you have to be careful with this because the exchange rate always changes. So we have to be aware with the exchange rate of the moment. For now, it is $700 that you have to make a month to be able to apply for this visa. Another important factor is the health policy. You have to have coverage in Colombia, for example, just in case anything happens to you while you're in Colombia, because of course, your companies cover your whatever happens to you in the States or in any other country. But in Colombia, what the law establishes is that you have to have coverage for anything that happens to you, either death or anything in your health. Any coverage that you need, you have to have this policy. And of course, at our law firm, we have allies that will provide this service, that we can provide you with this additional service of coverage for insurance if you're interested. I'll have my phone number and all the information at the end. So if you guys need any legal assistance with these issues, I'll be always available. Next, please. So just to understand what's a digital nomad visa, this is a scope to provide remote work services or teleworking from Colombia through digital means and internet, exclusively for foreign companies as independent, labor-related, or to start a digital content entrepreneurship. So the topic at hand, basically, as you can see, it has to be a foreign company, I'm sorry, and you have a contractual obligation with this country. So basically, if you comply with this, then you shouldn't have an issue to apply for this new visa. What's the validity? Well, up to 2 years. Something they have to clarify that sometimes I have a lot of expats that ask me this question. Cesar, well, is it 2 years? Do I get it? No, it depends on the Ministry of in theory of what time they give you. Sometimes they'll give you 1 year, sometimes they'll give you the 2 years complete, but it all depends on the decision of the entity. Not always will you get 2 years. Do you get to have beneficiaries with this new visa, or can you apply for this beneficiary visa for your family? Yes. What is a beneficiary visa? Well, I will explain in the next slide. And those who do not require a short stay visa will be able to enter without a visa as long as you don't generate payments from Colombian companies and the stay period is no more than 180 continuous days. So basically, what you have to keep in mind is that you don't always have to apply for a digital nomad visa. If you're thinking of staying for less than 6 months, and you have a passport that can enter you for a short stay visa in Colombia, then you wouldn't need a digital nomad visa. You can just enter with the visa that you have, 180 days, and there shouldn't be an issue with that as long as you come into the country. But if you're thinking of staying more than 6 months, then I do recommend that you apply for this digital nomad visa, which facilitates a lot of expats all over the world. Please, next. As a bonus, we have changes to the visa regimen, which, as you've heard, the 5 most important changes introduced in Resolution 5477 of 2022. Basically, the immigration attorney have up to 30 days to issue the pronouncement. Let me clarify. Before, if you, for example, you entered your documents or you're filing for a study, the government had 5 days to give you a response. Now, with this new visa that's going to come into effect on the 21st of October, they have 30 days. So their time to study your documents is going to extend to up to 30 days. It's not going to be 5 days anymore. Point number 2, time for issuing the electronic visas will go from 3 days to 10 days. What does this mean? So, for example, if you pay for your visa, now what the Colombian government is doing is they're issuing a digital, electronic visa. You don't have to get a stamp in your passport anymore. But before, it would take 3 days for you to get this digital visa. Now it's going to take about 10 days more, or up to 10 business days, I'm sorry. What other change? Well, for example, the spouse visa. Before, it was just one visa, which was the spouse and permanent partner. It was the same. There wasn't a differentiation between both, but now it's different. For example, for accumulated time for the resident visa, after 3 years, you'll be able to apply for the residency with the spouse visa. With the permanent partner visa, the time went up. It's now for a residency, you have to wait 5 years. So these are important changes that have happened with the new visa regimen. Number 4, once a visa is authorized, you will have 10 calendar days to make the payment. This is very important because, for example, I have clients of mine that pay for the visa, but they wait more than 15 days, and then the visa that they got approved basically is just rejected, because once you get a visa approved, you have to pay for it. You have to pay the entity. If you don't pay it, well, they're going to discard it. They're going to think that you're not interested in this visa. So be very careful with these times. Once you get a visa approved, pay for it. That way you don't have any issues, and then you have to refute this, and there's no appeal process in regards to the entity. There's no way of appeals with their decisions. Another important point, visa stamping will no longer be mandatory unless it is requested by a government official. So basically, what I mentioned before, you would have to go directly here in Bogota to get a stamp. Now, because of the pandemic and this new resolution and new changes that have happened, now everything's going to be with a digital visa. So once you get your visa approved, you pay for it, then you'll receive it in the mail as in digital form. Next, please. And here we go. When it's going to come into effect. Well, basically, this is, like I said, Resolution 5477 of July 22nd of 2020. That's when it was implemented. And now it's going to take place on October 21st, 2022. Basically, it's just repealing Resolution 1980 and 6045, which were the original resolutions. Next, please. So here we go, beneficiary visas. Beneficiaries are those applicants who comply for a visa because of a relationship with a person who is in turn is a visa holder. So for certain visas, for example, for the Digital Nomad Visa, you're entitled to a beneficiary visa. So for example, if you're coming to Colombia and maybe you want to bring your spouse, your children, these are the types of visa that you can apply for. For example, a spouse or permanent partner, children under the age of 25 who are dependent financially of the main holder of the visa. Very important, because they may ask for the dependency that your children have with you up until this age. After this age, well, they're not able to apply, they would have to apply for their own visa. Children with disabilities as well. Something very important, there's a new change under the new law. Parents are no longer considered beneficiaries. With the previous law, your parents could apply for this beneficiary visa. Okay, next, please. Okay, so these are some of the questions that I thought that were relevant. But of course, we're going to hold them until the end. These are some of the typical questions, which, for example, we'll just hold on to the end, but basically, they're the three most important, and I'll give Carolina the go ahead with the next presentation. And thank you again, guys. This is, like I said, I'm the CEO of Castro and Salazar Law Group. Basically, the services are focused or scoped for expats. If you guys have any situations, I really recommend getting advice. Certain situations present where people have difficulties, especially because the entities right now, they're doing a lot of summonses. And summonses, you need to draft up the correct documentation to answer to these entities. A lot of times, a lot of my fellow expats have these difficulties because they don't know the norms, the laws. We will be glad to, assess your case and give you the legal advice that you need. This is my number if you want to contact me through WhatsApp. And this is my website as well. So again, please, if you have any questions, any situations, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you again.
Okay, Cesar, thank you very much, especially because you have, I don't know, do like a very good summary of this very big information. So I know this is a really big effort for all of us, especially because this is like extremely new. So thanks for the effort. So now it's time for the question. So what is the idea? The idea is the question to the people that they are on Facebook Live. So they can just put the question on, yes, on the chat, okay? It is the same for the people that they are connected on Zoom. So you can write the question and we, with Cesar, we are gonna answer them. Yeah, not with Cesar, and Cesar is gonna answer, yes, because I don't know anything about the visa. I'm also learning about that, okay? So the first question, Cesar, is, so there's somebody asking about the health insurance. I think it's like very, very important that. So what level of health coverage is needed? So this person has a digital nomad coverage for major medical that covers Colombia. Is that enough? So what are exactly the requirements for this health insurance?
Well, we have alliances with very well-known companies, insurance companies, and basically it's a policy. It's a policy here in Colombia that has to cover, has to give you coverage for any of these situations, which is basically the government is understanding the need of expats and digital nomads, but they understand that, of course, if you're a digital nomad, the contractual obligations are with your employer. So basically, that doesn't have reach here in Colombia. Basically, if anybody wants to contact me, I can provide you. I have alliances with great insurance companies here in Colombia. Very well known, respected, and I can put you in contact and I can guide you through the whole process.
So in terms, it's like I don't know, I related with myself. Of course, I don't need a visa for Colombia. I'm happy because I need a visa for the rest of the world. But I'm thinking about myself because I need a health insurance here in Croatia to apply for the digital nomad in Croatia visa. So, and I needed like a specific, when I applied, I needed a specific amount of coverage inside the health insurance. So I'm using like this Nomad health insurance that now they are very popular more and more. But some of the health insurance companies, they are not allowed by the government because the coverage is not enough. Yeah, so there's something that they have said, the government of Colombia, about that. Is like there's like I don't know how to say it in English, like a limit of coverage, an amount, like a specific amount of in dollars or in Colombian pesos.
There's nothing in the law that establishes that amount. It just specifies that it has to give coverage to specific situations. For example,
specific situations.
Yeah, specific situations. It's an all-around coverage for certain situations, just in case there's a death that would be unfortunate, or some health issue. Basically, so that the time that you're here, you have coverage while you're a digital nomad.
Okay, very good. That's excellent. So the next question is something about when exactly people can apply. Yes, because it's gonna start like sort of a start in October, but yeah, to do the application process, I don't know if this application process is online or you have to apply like in another way, but when exactly people can start to apply. Yeah, so people can buy the tickets and to plan those kind of things. So
well, like I mentioned, we do provide this service. We help our clients with the whole process. And in regards to the time, well, the law establishes, or the entity established 21st of October. In fact, recently, I think yesterday, they're going to do an update. Everything's online. So basically, they're doing an update right now from the 16th until the 21st. So they're in a transition period. Right now, it's really complicated with the whole visa process because they're in a transition. Since everything's online, they have to structure everything online because they have the previous visas and they don't have the new ones. So right now, the government's running to do this whole transition officially October 21st. But I have to give you a warning. Right now, it's going to be a complicated situation when it gets close to that time, because the entity is going to has the transition, and they're basically, it's going to be chaos because they're going to try to apply things from the new law to before the time. For example, maybe on the 19th or the 10th of October. So it's unsure right now. Everybody's running to just adjust and to do the correct transition. So that's why I recommend, if you have visa process right now, if you're doing it yourself, do it now. Try to do everything right now, because once you get closer to the time, and like I said, on the 16th to the 21st, I believe they're going to do a suspension of certain visas. In regards to applying, because they're going to do a transition, something internally where they have to transition all the different changes. And then, like I said, once it gets close to October, 21st, it's going to get complicated. So please, if you have something that you can do today, do it today, because it's going to get crazy. And I would wait after October 21st to apply, if you can, at least 3 to 4 months after, because it's going to be a very complicated transition. It's not that you can't apply, or you're not going to be able to apply. It's just that right now is a very crucial moment because of this new transition.
Yes, especially because so many people, I guess, they want to apply because the amount of money that you have to show that you have as an income is not that much, as in other digital nomad visas around the world. That normally is $2,000 or something like that. So everything like the application, it is online. I'm just curious about that. Yes, because it's like in other visas you can apply from your own country, and if the visa is rejected, I hope no for the people that they are here, but yeah, you never know because of any specific reason. So okay, you don't travel and you don't spend like the time or the money, or you just go with the 3 months as a tourist. So everything is online, the application, you submit your documents online, right?
Yes, fortunately, everything is done online. Even when they sent you your visa, it's not, you don't have to stamp anymore. It's sent to your email in PDF format, digital form that you can present it, you know, in the immigration department with no problem because it's a valid document. But yes, for the application process, it's online. You just fill out the information. Just like I mentioned, you know, a lot of aspects. I mean, what, you know, can I do it myself? Yes, you can do it yourself. It's something very simple because you have to fill out information. But I do recommend having legal counsel because there, especially with these new changes, there's going to be a lot of complications, a lot of drafting of a summons, responding to a summons, because a lot of times, yes, there are situations where it's very simple, but it's not, you know, it's something that you should have, you know, have legal counsel, have experts in the immigration law that can help you, guide you. If there's a summons, which a lot of clients come back to me and they say, Cesar, you know, I tried it myself. I had a summons. I don't know how to respond. And we know the law, so we understand how to respond to these entities. And that helps a lot. It helps to expedite the visa much quicker. And yes, it's completely online, so you don't have to worry about being present. It can even be done from your home country. It doesn't, you don't have to be in Colombia to request a visa.
So either online or from Colombia, I guess. Yes, from people that they are like, can you, so the question is like more exact question. So you can apply as a tourist when you are a tourist in Colombia, or you have to arrive with the visa. Yeah, because in some other countries, you arrive as a tourist and some people, they just want to check that you like the country and you feel comfortable with. So then you say, okay, I can apply. It is possible to do so as well, right?
Yes, I mean, if you arrive to Colombia and your intention is to maybe test the waters to see if it's something.
Yeah, exactly. Test the waters. This is the one.
Maybe see if you like it or something that you want to stay in a long term. Like I said, a lot of countries, they have short-term visas. For example, the United States, where you can stay up to 6 months. But be very careful because a lot of people think, well, I have 6 months. Well, yes, you have 90 days and then you have to request another 90 days. So it's not that automatically you get the 6 months. You have to first come in, they give you a stamp, which is the 90 days. You can stay those 90 days and maybe test the waters and say, well, it's something that I like Colombia, I want to stay in Medellin or Bogota. And then you can ask for an extension for another 3 months for a total of 6 months. But let's say you want to stay long-term. So that's when you have to apply for a visa. And that's when this digital nomad visa is going to help out a lot of people because, you know, applying for a visa here in Colombia is become very complicated. It's a lot of, you can ask a lot of expats, a lot of summonses where they request a lot of information. That this digital nomad visa is going to give a lot of people opportunities where you can, as long as you have the requirements that I mentioned, you'll be fine.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Cesar. So the next, so for Eric, yes, we are gonna share this presentation as well. Like for people, if we are gonna put all the information on our Digital Nomad Colombia group, Facebook group, and also in the Digital Nomad Association. But if there's something that you don't find it, you can text us, yes, directly, and we are going to be like very happy to share with you everything that you needed. There's another question. So I think we have more or less 10 questions. So I'm going to be like very fast with that so we can solve all of them in the more or less 10 minutes that we have. This visa, so another person is saying this visa, this time spent with this visa count towards residency?
No.
So?
Yeah, so can you hear me?
No.
It was my internet. Can you hear me? Cesar? Carolina?
Can this time be applied towards residency?
Cesar, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see what's wrong, but it's Everything looks
So, Carolina, ¿me escuchas?
yes, yes, I do.
So this is Cesar that can't. Cesar,
No.
¿nos escuchas? I don't know why I'm changing to Spanish.
Yeah, me too. I was thinking in Spanish.
Yeah, I was just thinking in
Mhm.
Spanish, but yeah, so my brain is in Spanish in this moment. But anyway, so we are gonna start to check what was happening. Maybe we can stop with the presentation and we just can keep the everything. So okay, Cesar, can you me escuchas? There's something with his audio.
Yeah, there's something wrong.
So we just need to wait a little bit because he's the person that is gonna solve all the questions. So I just want you to wait a little bit because I can't answer them. Just let's wait. We can just check it to the WhatsApp.
Maybe Cesar, if you hear us, you can try to rejoin us. So like you can get out of the Zoom call and then like join us again and see if that works.
I guess he's not.
I'll text.
Can anybody, just text him maybe.
Yeah, I already text him by WhatsApp.
Okay, I already texted him. Let's see if that.
Yeah, so let's wait. So this is like I will go through some questions. So maybe we can like do some group of questions because probably some people they have like the same questions. So this is like, yeah, so the thing of the residency, I think is like very important because some people they want to like to accumulate, I don't know if it's a good term in English, like sometimes with other visas, etc. The next question is like, if we need to be hired by a foreign company or can we just be independent? I know the answer of this because we were talking about that yesterday with Cesar, and you can be independent as a freelancer because a lot of digital nomads as myself, so I am self-employed, so we can be hired by a foreign company also to do like this freelancing thing. So this is possible in both cases. So we don't have to be hired by another company. So as long as you meet all the requirements in terms of money and income, it is good, okay? So that is enough, okay? So with Maria, so Maria is saying that if we need to buy a health insurance in Colombia, it is not, we later on with Cesar, we will confirm this information. So if you have a health insurance, like an international health insurance, it is not mandatory to buy a health insurance in Colombia. Once you settle down in Colombia, you can buy it, yes? Because of you need, I don't know, you have like a special treatment or because the other, normally the health insurance, they also only works for emergencies or things like that. So you can buy like a health insurance, which is this EPS. I don't know, for people that they already live in Colombia, you know that we have like this EPS system, EPS system. So you can buy an insurance that they can work with the EPS for that. But for the application, it is not necessary. You need the health insurance, but it can be an international health insurance that covers Colombia and the requirements, as we were saying in the last question, okay? Another person is saying that has an online business company. I don't know, we will wait. I don't know if if you have a foreign business license sufficient or if you need to be a corporation. So actually, I don't know how to solve this question. So this question, we will keep it for Cesar. So this is excellent. If we don't have the time or something happens, you can send directly also, carry your question to Cesar. Yeah, so let's keep it there. Yes, so Carlos Zaragoza, so he said that you have missed exactly when the application process starts. And Cesar says that is the 21st of October, so basically in 1 month, okay? But he's like warning us that there's like a lot of changes right now in terms of visas and other processes and other visas that they have been, I don't know, releasing Colombia. So this is like a very important to have all the documents ready for the application if you are planning to go in 1 month or 2 months, 3 months in Colombia. If it's for the next year, okay, so that's different. But it's gonna be the 21st of October, okay? Next, which is Russell, we're fully remotely, so I can work for. Okay, for the prices, so he's asking for the prices using the law services. So we will wait for Cesar if he can tell us like the prices. Otherwise, at the end of this presentation, or also with Carolina, I think we can share right now like the information of Cesar, the WhatsApp. So we can share the screen again with the WhatsApp and all the information. So you can ask exactly what are the services. So normally he has like just the law services or the law and accountant service, which is like another question that is related with that. What about the taxation? Yeah, so do you need to pay taxes in Colombia or not? So this is another question that Cesar will solve, but I know that he works with an accountant. Yeah, so this is like you can hire the services with as a lawyer and also with an accountant. So you can find here the information of Cesar, so you can write directly to him. Yeah, so what are the prices of his services? And so for Russell, so the other question about the US company and the contractors, so we will keep it here if Cesar can connect, so we can ask it. Otherwise, so I'm gonna save this chat and we are gonna answer like this question in our Digital Nomad Facebook group, okay? Okay, so Maria, this is another question that you know that I don't know. So when the times, so this is like a very specific for Cesar. So I think we were discussing that later on. It's like for people that they arrive as a tourist. Yes, I think Cesar Morales was saying that you have like 90 days as a tourist and then you can apply for an extension, yes, for another 90 days. So in total, you more or less have 6 months, yes, as a tourist. Okay, so probably this digital nomad visa is like for long-term stay, yes. So or for yes, as Cesar was saying, okay, if you need those months just to test the waters or things like that, so that's excellent. Okay.
Yes, but can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I just want to clarify my question because yes, I understand the 90 days and the 90 days extension, but my question was because my plan was to ask for the digital nomad visa in October, and this way I don't need to ask for the 90 days extensions. But like the way Cesar was talking, it looks like it's going to be so complicated. I'm like, am I going to have my visa before the end of the 90 days? So I was like wondering if strategically I should ask for the 90 days extension and then ask for the visa, the digital nomad visa later in the process. That was my my real question. But anyway,
this is definitely this is excellent question because I got that when I was in Croatia. It's like when once you have like I don't know how to answer your question. So first and second, yes, I'm just telling my story, which I think probably is the same for all the digital nomads visas. It's like once you apply, so until you get your approval or your rejection, you are kind of, you freeze your time, and yeah, so you can stay in the country. until you get yes, the approval or not. Yeah, so this is what the majority of the countries they do. I guess Colombia, they have like sorts of a thing. So even if there is chaotic time that Cesar was saying, it's like, oh, it's going to be chaotic, but if you are not in a rush, I think it's like you can wait for the approval if you want to stay in Colombia legally. Yes, because you can stay in the country like that. So this is like what I have been experiencing as a person with a digital nomad visa in another country. But this is very interesting. We are going to ask this directly to Cesar, so we can.
Cesar is back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Cesar is here
Hi,
now.
sorry.
Hi, welcome back.
I'm back.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so we were saying, maybe Maria, can you please re-ask this question, like with you can?
Yes. So my question is, so I arrived in Colombia on September 1st. So I have 90 days here. My plan was to ask for the digital nomad visa in October, but the way you were talking, I see that maybe this process is going to be very complicated. So if I don't want to leave Colombia, is it better for me to ask for the 90 days extension and then later in the process ask for the digital nomad visa? Or it's gonna like put chaos in if I ask for two things at the same time, an extension and a digital nomad visa. I just want to be, strategic here.
Okay. So you say you're arriving, I'm sorry, when are you arriving?
I'm in Bogota since September 1st.
September 1st. Okay. So, and you entered, they gave you 90 days, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So, it's really uncertain right now how the transition is going to happen. Like I said, this entity, it's going to be a little bit chaotic. What I would do since you are going to use your 90 days, wait until you get an extension, use your other 90 days that you have a right to use. And then once you're getting close to that deadline of your second 90 days for a total of 6 months, then apply, but prior to being illegal, of course, because a lot of people wait until the last minute, maybe 2 weeks before. No, with this new change, I would do it, with time, sufficient time, at least 2 to 3 months before, or 2 months. But yes, strategically, if you have those 6 months, because you barely arrived maybe a week ago, you don't have the need. And I would wait so that way when you do apply, all this ruckus and commotion is over and you can just apply with no problems.
Okay.
Because if you apply right now, you're going to run into a tidal wave of situations, and it's
okay.
It's a crazy time.
Okay, so when should I apply for this 90-day extension? Because I heard that everything's gonna close and freeze like from this week until October 21st. So I'm gonna have to ask for my extension on October 21st.
But you said you arrived September, no?
Yeah. So it's still okay, but I just like.
Okay, so you want to know if maybe getting close to that time.
Yeah.
And okay, let's see.
And also, if you say we should ask for the digital nomad visa at least 2 or 3 months before it ends, that means that with a new 90 days, I need to ask right away also for the digital nomad visa.
Yes, the most important part is that you're never illegal. I mean, that's something that I emphasize a lot. Don't ever wait until you're illegal, because that kind of puts like a little mark in your record. So every time that you try to apply for a visa, do it with time, because you don't know what's going to happen. A lot of times you'll have summonses, like a lot of people can testify to. And, because it's not only, a lot of people think it's just applying for the visa. It's not. A lot of times you can have up to 2 summonses from the entity requesting a digital information request. And after October 21st, that's going to get a little bit more complicated, because before they had 5 days to respond after you send in your information for revisal for your application. Now they're going to have up to 30 days. So that's going to take longer. Things are going to look a little more complicated. So yeah, you have to be very aware with your times. A lot of times immigration, they won't tell you that so you have to be aware of your times from the time you have on your stamp. And remember, it's always 90 days calendar days. So always keep track. And once you get close to those times, for example, for your first 90 days, then close to that time, then ask for an extension. That way you continue on for the additional 90 days and you'll be safe and you won't have any issues. And then once you get close to those, that last 90 days that you get, then apply for some sort of long-term visa, digital visa, work visa, whatever, for whatever case that you have.
Okay, I have a second question. I'm sorry if I take too much time.
Yes, it can be like we are closing like very soon. If it can be like very short question, and also for Cesar like very short answer
Yes.
as well. So thank you.
But
guys.
maybe it's gonna apply to other people. So because I got 90 days when I arrived on September 1st, but I was not supposed to, because I already spent 70 days in 2022 in Colombia. So like in the legal way, I had only 20 days that I could stay, and then I would need to ask for an extension. But when I arrived, they gave me the 90 days. So my question here is, if I ask for the 90 days extension, are they gonna like look into, because if I ask for a 90 days extension, I'm gonna like be more than 180 days, which is the maximum of days we can be per year. Are they going to look into that and say, oh, we cannot give you the 90 days extension because you were already here for 70 days at the beginning of the year and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, remember that the time counts from the beginning of the year. So if you already used up certain time before, they're going to count it to this additional time. So if, for example, if you have, by their calculations, like 10 days, then they're going to give you 10 days. Because they're, the Migración, every time they check cases, they check to see, what your particular case involves in regards to time. Because if you already, for example, used, the first 90 days, they're going to calculate how much time you have left. It's, for example, a lot of people say, well, if I leave and come back, that'll reset my time and they'll give me another 90 days. No. I mean, they take into account what you used up during the year. So if, for example, if you leave and you come back, it's not that they're going to give you more time. They're going to calculate.
The case of Maria is like you left 3 months. So I think it's not a problem because of the amount of days that you were outside of Colombia, right?
No, because it's the same year. The way I understand the law is 180 days per year. So even if I left for 4 months.
Yeah, exactly. It is the same year, but you left more than 3 months. So I think it's like, because it's 90 days.
No, it's per year. So what I'm understanding here is that I am now working on my extension. I mean, I am now using my extension. So I don't have any more extension.
Well, every case is different. We'd have to like look into.
I'm gonna have a personal consultation with you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you so much.
I love you so much, Maria. But we have to close. So this is like a good opportunity to have like exactly consultation and to see like this specific case, because I think as Cesar highlighted, this like every case is different. So about the person that is on Facebook that is asking about the taxation, we promise you, because I have to close this, I'm so sorry, and yeah, we lost a little bit of time because of these technical issues, but we promise, guys. Also Shane that is asking with this like a type of employee and contract that you have in the US, because I know, because all of my fellows, American fellows, so they have this type of contract and they can travel around the world. So this is excellent question, because of course there are going to be like a lot of people from the US trying to to apply for this. So we promise you guys that we are gonna send it if you are in the Digital Nomads Colombia group, so we can answer your questions. And yes, because they are like 4 or 5 more questions. And I already saved the chat, so with Cesar, we can just manage like this and send to the emails or to the messenger the answers, and you can check with Cesar directly if you need like a personal consultation. Okay, so to finish this, I just want to invite you guys to join our Digital Nomad Association. So Maria, I think this is the opportunity to introduce yourself, because we let you to speak. So yeah.
Yeah, sorry for taking all that time. Yes, I'm a digital nomad. I've been traveling in a couple of countries since January, and I'm so happy I had the opportunity to meet Nadia in Croatia. And I'm so happy to be a part of this new association, which I think it's going to be amazing for all digital nomad, because we need connection. So this is what this association is going to provide, and so many other things. So I'm happy to be part of the co-founders, and I will be happy also to share with you my journey through these visa process. If you have any question, I am now in Colombia. So my intention is to stay here longer as I can now. So if you have any question about the process, let me know.
That's good. It's also good to have like a person that already did the process, and to have like some support, even also emotional.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you very much, Maria, to introduce yourself.
Thanks to
also, yeah, we also have Francois. So Francisco, are you there still in the?
Hello, everybody. Nice to be here. I'm from Canada. I spent a lot of time in South America last winter, and I plan to go back and apply for the visa in late November. So I hope I will be able to meet you when I get there. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. So yes, we are planning just to have like a huge event in December or January to meet all of us. And we are super excited like for this Digital Nomad Association that we are just structuring. So we just invite us to join to our Facebook group, which is Digital Nomad Association Colombia. So it is like now open for the public, and you can just apply and to answer the questions. So please, they are mandatory questions. Yeah, so you apply, you answer the questions. So it's just the step 1 is answer the questions of the group, and then once in the group, so we will contact you to get like a special membership discount if you want to join us and to build this community, or you have like a specific idea that you want to build. So also we are open like to hear other people speaking. Okay. So thank you very much. So people that I know and they are in the group. So also Chris is saying hello. So yes, and yeah, so we will answer the questions that they are still there. And Cesar, thank you very much for being part of this Facebook Zoom live. And yeah, so do you have anything like to Cesar to say goodbye to our nomads?
No, well, I appreciate the space, Nadia. Thank you for inviting me, Carolina, everyone. That was a pleasure providing this information. Like I said, if anybody needs consultations, if you need legal advice in regards to a visa process or any corporate matter, we also created companies here in Colombia. And like I said, I'm a fellow expat. I lived in California, and now I'm an attorney here in Colombia. So I know the ins and outs of the situations. I've been there. So if you guys need to contact me, please don't hesitate to ask me, contact me, have any questions. It's my pleasure. And thank you again for this space. And like I said, I'm Cesar Castro from Castro and Salazar Law Group. If you guys need me, I'll be available. So thank you again, Nadia, Carolina, for this invitation.
Okay, thank you. So see you guys, and I hope like to see you around on the Facebook group. Okay,